almost a whole world to do it, but yeah, we got him. All right. Hello, everybody. Hi, Mike.
Hi. How's it
So
going?
this is pretty low key, not exciting at all. Well, it is a little exciting, but
Hey, piss off. This
I
is
said
very
I
exciting.
said it's a little exciting. Very exciting. I guess you're right. It is very exciting. It's different from anything I normally do, and we will play the rest of Final Fantasy VII Remake later. But I figured where I am joining a campaign of Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop role playing that is using rules based on The Witcher, namely the books, I think, and a little bit of the games. I noticed
This
some.
actually is mainly based off the
Oh,
games.
okay, off the games. I was gonna say I noticed some art from the games
Yeah.
in the book. But I am going to be the Witcher of the group, and so I figured it would be exciting. My mustache is going crazy right now. It would be exciting to build out the character here on stream. So we'll let Mike, our GM, take it away.
Oh man. All right, so you said you've played the games, right? And read or have you played The Witcher 3 or is
Just The Witcher 3. I
okay.
have all three, and I want to get to them eventually.
Um I mean, I've played The Witcher 2. It's okay,
I've
but
heard
The Witcher 3 is really like
The Witcher Two's slog.
yeah, that's the good word for it. There's some good parts, but like The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, and the books and to a lesser extent the TV show definitely rank up there with some of my favorite stuff. But um, so yeah, you get to play the Witcher in this part. So it's funny because I wouldn't say that Witchers are even the most powerful or even the most influential part of this universe. Like honestly, they're known for keeping to themselves and being kind of off to the side. Like they stay impartial in political conflicts and even in personal spats where there's some kind of morality component where normally someone might step in for one side or another, but witchers really don't do that, because the emotion has been bred out of them. So their role is to stay impartial, but of course they are human deep down, so if there's something that they really care about, obviously they'll step in and they'll arbitrate a conflict more effectively than just about anyone else because they are pretty darn awesome, pretty darn strong. So I don't know. They're just a really cool creation and a very cool universe, and I'm excited that someone's going to be the Witcher. So that's what I'll say about the lore component. So you are going to be the Witcher. Or do you want to be a base human Witcher? Because
Yeah,
uh,
I'm feeling base human.
okay, that's probably a good idea. I mean, you can't get a lot more hated than a Witcher anyway, so it's not like being a base elf would make you more reviled. People pretty much universally hate you, so there is that.
Yay!
All right, so as a Witcher, because you have gone undergone such extensive genetic mutation, you are considered a different race. So, um, you're kind of like like a superhuman race. I don't know. You're different. So you fall under a different race, and thus you get different perks than humans. So you have the ability to see in the dark. So if there's ever darkness in the game, that might affect some of the other characters, it will not affect you.
Okay.
You have a +1 to your awareness skill. You have +1 automatically to your reflex and dexterity. But interestingly, because all Witchers have the emotions mostly bred out of them, you can't raise your empathy above 6.
Okay.
So
So you'd say
you are kind
Geralt
of
is at an empathy 6.
yes. Geralt is one of the more empathetic Witchers, although I think it's implied via a different lore and side stories that each of the Witchers has something they care about that they'll defend, but it's not like they're going to sign up for the war. They're mostly kind of sociopathic, but everyone has something that makes them tick. So yeah. All right.
Awesome.
So most of the time, well, you guys, I'm sure you saw yesterday, we would start out doing regular character creation, but since you're a Witcher, you actually have a separate tree that determines your life path and stuff about you.
Okay.
So, your life path will start down on page 237.
Oh goodness gracious.
Yeah, pretty far down.
Okay, give me a second. You said 207.
37.
31, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37. 237. Okay.
All right. So here's a little bit of lore. Basically, what it says is that witchers are either kidnapped or raised from children to be monster killers. They're bred to be as strong and fast as monsters, and there's not a lot of them left over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that says. So if you go to the next page, we can start your life path. So if you have the Discord dice roller or any other dice roller pulled up,
Yep. Okay.
or I mean, you can pick this as well, but I mean, everyone else has been kind of rolling
Yeah, I'm gonna
for
roll.
randomness.
It's more
It's
fun.
kind of fun.
I
So
actually
go ahead.
do have a suggestion for you.
Sure.
A lot of people I know that have played, when I've played D&D through Discord, they've made a separate channel for dice rolls,
That's not a bad idea, actually.
so that the
Like a
general
separate
doesn't
text
get,
channel.
yeah, so the general doesn't get filled up with dice rolls.
I like that. Actually, I like that a lot.
So what do I need to roll first? Just a D10?
Uh, yeah. Hold on. Let me see if this loads up. Just try to create a separate text channel.
Oh. See if I can.
Okay. Well, I'll figure that out later. Yeah. So 2d10, please.
Okay, just give me 1 second. It's trying to be fancy, but I can't. Okay. So you said 2D10?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. I've got 7 and 2.
7 and 2. So when did you become a Witcher? Early childhood, which is no modifiers. So you were taken when you were very young, between 4 and 6 years old. You
Okay.
had some natural memories when you started the first of the trials. So basically, there's no drawbacks or benefits. And then second one was a 2. Which
Viper.
school did you train in? You
No,
trained in the
2.
Wolf
Sorry.
School.
Yeah, Wolf. Oh, that's what is that?
So
That's what
that's
Geralt is, right?
yes, it is. Yep,
Woo-woo. No
very cool.
penalty for strong strikes. I trained at Carmoran.
Ooh, that's really cool. So strong strikes, you can accept a penalty and it decreases your chance of hitting, but if you land a strong strike, it doubles your damage. So that's basically saying you take away that penalty, and anytime you decide to do a strong strike, if you know you'll be that much more likely to hit it and do double damage. So
Yeah, and I haven't thought of a name yet, so I'm still working on a name. Mike J. Miller. Haven't
that
thought of
is
it.
everyone's still working on their names, so he'll have some time. All right, so let me write that down real quick. You're from Kaer Morhen. Something about Witchers that hold on 1 second. Typing. So Witchers, even though they don't really have a home, like Kaer Morhen would be your home. What they typically do is they claim to be from another kingdom, so they seem a little bit more human. Like people are more willing to trust them if they say they're from somewhere and not like bred in a fortress. Which is why Geralt is Geralt of Rivia. He's not actually from Rivia. He just claims that he is.
Okay.
So something when you're picking your name, you can go to the map and kind of pick a random kingdom and say that your Witcher is from that area. Okay.
And are they normally
So
like a moniker and then location?
yeah, so you'll have your name, your first name, and then no real last name, and then of blank. So
Is it Redania?
Redania, yes, Redania is one of the Northern Kingdoms.
Okay. I just kind of did a quick Google search just for blank ideas, not even anything serious. And it says Mario is a good name for Redanian person.
Really? Mario Redania?
Mario of Redania.
I'm not going to stop you.
I feel like you would like me to not be Mario of Redania though.
Oh, I don't care. I think that'd be hysterical.
Okay, well then I'm officially I think I'm feeling Mario of Redania right now. That's a temporary name.
All right. I'm going to write that down for right now.
If I think of something better, I will change it. But for right now, Mario of Redania is a great
I mean,
name.
Jesse's character's name is Beetlejuice.
I guess that's right. Okay, that's the name then. Mario of Redania.
I mean,
That's
it's his actual like his character does have like a real name, but Beetlejuice is his adopted Druid name, so you can.
Well, like you said, I'm not actually of Redania.
Yeah, but you are actually Mario.
but I am actually Mario.
Geralt and Mario, classic.
We're the best friends. Geralt and Mario are best friends.
You know what? I might not be able to take this seriously.
Mario's got a proficiency just in pipe works. He's done actually some basic level consultancy with some plumbing for Nilfgaard.
He's really good at jumping high too.
Yeah, man, he's got quads for days.
Mario,
and he's got a weird aversion for turtles. I don't know what's going on with that.
He's just all around kind of a goofball. All right, so roll another 2d10 so we can figure out how your training and trials went, and if there's any scars or damages left over.
Okay. All right. So early training, I got stolen knowledge. 2.
While training at your school, you snuck into libraries of the com. Ooh, nice. So what's your diagrams? So you'll get to pick either a oil or a blade, blade oil or potion diagram to keep with you.
Fancy.
So make a note of that.
Let me pull up a text document.
And then 4, how did your trials go? Passable mutations, no modifiers. So at least you didn't have any bad things.
So at 4. Oh, okay, so nothing happened. Okay. Stolen knowledge. Here I am typing it. When copy and paste is a thing. Okay, possible mutations. Cool. What's next?
All right. So next we have to find out a little bit more about you. What was your most important event, and where are you now? So roll another 2d10, and we'll figure out those 2 things.
All right. I got a 4. I was captured by a mage for testing. Mages lust after the secrets of Witcher mutations. At some point in your life, you were captured by a mage who experimented on you in an attempt to reverse engineer them.
So you turn to a normal life. So you... Let's see. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to incorporate that somehow. So when our story begins, you are living out a normal life.
Yeah, and then I begrudgingly get pulled into Witcher duties.
Every time they pull me out, every time I think I'm out.
Okay, so Mario Redania is real old. And he likes to say that he's too old for this stuff.
I'm too old for this shit.
I'm too old for this shit.
You could be Riggs of Redania. That would be kind of cool.
Yes, that's the name. We're changing it. Riggs of Redania. There we go.
I actually really like that.
Yeah, it works really good with 2 G's.
Yeah.
2 G's.
I'm too old for this shit.
I think this fits that, persona really well.
Yeah.
All right. So what this says danger potential is next?
Yeah. So, hold on. I didn't actually. If somewhere.
Can I just pick age or is that a roll?
No, you can pick your age.
All right. I'm feeling 200.
Okay.
Because it says 50 and 260 years. And I'm
So
feeling
you're
he's old.
You're an older Witcher. So you're supposed to do one of these for every decade. Maybe we shouldn't do that
Okay.
because unless you want to roll a set for
I mean,
That's
it's up to you. You're the GM. I will follow at your discretion. If you want me to be younger, I can be a little younger. It's up to you.
well, no. I mean, I want you to be 200. Let's just start rolling. So, when did you just? So this is all once, let's just say for cohesiveness sake, once you hung up your swords, all of this goes away. So between the age of 30, when you struck out on the trail from Kaer Morhen, and whenever you retired, we'll roll these. But whenever you retired, we'll stop rolling. So at what age did you retire? How long have
He
you
probably would have retired at 150.
150? All right, so we have eight rolls then to get out.
Okay.
So might as well first roll in the danger row. So to get a percent, what we'll do is we will add 2d10s.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
I'm familiar with percentile rolls.
Yep. And then okay, so that's 103.
Well, no, you'd count that as cautious. So on a percentile dice, it's 0 is 10. So it would be 003, which would be 3%. If that makes sense.
Okay. So if that was 3, would that be 33%?
Yes.
Okay. So 10s act as zeros then?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll 2d3 so we can answer, whether it was a benefit ally hunt or nothing. And then on the benefits, like let's say it's a benefit on that page, there's another roll
you said 2d3 or 2d10?
Sorry, 2d10. Yep.
If you want, we can re-roll that as a d100.
We'll do that for next time.
Okay. Because that might be easier.
1 and 10. So
benefit. And then
10.
Found a teacher.
Nice. Found a teacher.
You studied under a mentor. You spent many weeks learning, practicing, and looking to your mentor for guidance. It was a strange experience. You may gain +1 in any int skill or start a new int skill at +2.
Nice. All right, so I have that down. So that was your 30s. So in your 40s, start roll your D100 and then 37. So that would be, I guess,
normal. No,
normal.
Or I don't know how. this works.
So that would be on if we're going on. It's closer to non-neutral, or no, it's 37.5 is the half point. So yeah, it'll be closer to normal. So let's just say normal.
Okay.
And then I go ahead and roll 2d10. 8.
Explored a
Nothing.
ruin. No, wait, sorry. I was looking at benefits. So yeah, nothing happened in my 30s or in my 40s.
Sorry, you had a boring couple years.
You know, whatever.
All right, go ahead. Do it again.
77. Oof.
All right, that's risky. Risky business.
Okay. 4, which would be a benefit. And then 8, explored a ruin. You had to hunt a monster through a large and complex ruin. Along the way, you found something useful. Roll 1d10. Somebody do that now.
Yep.
4, an elven messer.
I'm not 100% sure what that is, but
I don't
will
know
find.
either. I've never heard that word used in that context before.
Okay. All right, go ahead and do your next.
What was an elven messer?
I don't know. I'll look it up later.
Okay.
I don't feel like straying away from this page. It'll take me a while to.
Okay. 32.
All right, that's normal.
Okay. 8 and 8. Nothing.
Nothing again.
70. That's risky. Is that how we're doing it? Close, or is it because it's not over 75%?
Yeah, just close.
Okay. So then 2, 10, 2. Another benefit.
Nice.
Law of surprises. You invoke the law of surprises. Ooh, during that decade. Roll 1d10 to see what you got in return.
This could change a lot.
A cat.
Oh, never mind.
I have a cat.
You got a cat.
Well, this cat would be long dead.
Yeah, but it was one of your favorite cats.
It was a good cat. This is the cat that made... You know what? The cat's name was Mittens. And I have since named my sword after my dear beloved cat, Mittens.
So which sword? Your silver sword?
My silver sword, of course, because cats are kind of like sketch and not supernatural scale.
So I think your steel sword should be named something like Death Star, and then your silver sword's name is Mittens.
Yes, we will definitely do that. Okay, let's see. Now
Mike had a question for you in your Twitch chat. Do we have a name for our Witcher
Yep,
yet?
I answered him. I said not yet, and then we came up with Mario of Redania, and then we settled on Riggs of Redania. All right, so 57 would be non-neutral.
Correct.
I meant to roll 2 there, but we'll just take that one. So that's an ally.
Nice. Do a 2d10 here. We'll need to see how close you are.
So I'll do another one, 2. So I got an 8, and then a 5.
Okay, so it's a priestess that you met when you were drunk and hit it off.
Okay.
And you are acquaintances.
Cool.
Um,
That's pretty standard for a Witcher, I would think. They have a lot of acquaintances.
So, as I'm trying to find ways to bring you all together, funny enough, a lot of the roles have coincidentally made sense for reasons.
Yeah, because we do have a priest, don't we?
Yeah, so we have a priest. I mean, you guys won't maybe not be starting together since you're in retirement, but
he knows me or of me.
Maybe you know Beetlejuice from the past.
Yeah. How many more of these D100s do I got?
That was 6, so you have 2 left.
Okay. Yep, I actually have to do the command. 38. So non-neutral. Two, an benefit, and then 10. Found a teacher.
Wow, nice.
Studied under a mentor. Okay. I have had a pretty great life. I don't know why he wanted to retire.
Maybe he figured he had a great life. He didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah, maybe. There's still one more roll. So 6. It's cautious. Seven, nothing. So I really want, and this is up to you. I feel like he would retire. He would have retired after a traumatic experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good idea. So maybe
Can I just take a hunt?
Yeah.
And just roll on the hunt table?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I mean, maybe roll the first two, and then you can say it was a particularly tough fight.
Yeah. So 5, an Elementa.
Makes sense.
In the city.
Ooh.
And
it was a tough fight.
Yeah, it was a particularly tough fight, I would say.
Do you want there to be a twist or not?
Yes, of course. Okay.
All right. So
I'll roll on that. 10. The monster was fake. Oh no! Maybe
that would make me hang it up if you fought this monster. And
maybe he killed an innocent or something. Let's see.
Yeah, the monster was just hiding up for like a serial killer or something. Yeah. And a mage, the mage that was a serial killer, eventually summoned an elemental that you had to fight anyway, even though the elemental wasn't responsible. That's good.
Do I roll on danger now as well?
Hold on, sorry. No, danger is a separate. I think danger is a separate category, right?
No, it's part of the hunt.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well then, yeah, do it.
Okay. So I'm picking up this is a D10 based system.
Yeah.
Okay. So I made enemies.
Makes sense.
Can I do wounds instead? I know I'm picking stuff.
You can do that, and then if you want, I mean, my little flavor text that I filled in about the mage who fudged it, you could say that you made enemies and got wounds.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'm feeling like it has to be something like crazy. And so if I do events and wounds, because I already have the mage as an enemy. Do you want me to roll on the enemy table again?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Events and wounds. Be a 2. A damaged eye. Usually witchers are fast enough to avoid a vital strike, but some monsters are too fast. A shot to your eye left it mildly hazy.
Okay. Sight awareness -1. And that was that the last thing you did as a witcher before you hung up your...
Yes. And I'm feeling like flavor-wise that it wasn't a real monster. It was like I don't know.
I mean, it could be a real monster, but you could say that the monster wasn't responsible for whatever.
No, I was tricked into doing it because what's the country that hates anything that's not human again? That like really hates them. I don't know. Maybe they convinced me to go after somebody. I don't know. Cool.
Made enemies. Her eye -1 awareness. And then you hung up your swords.
Yep.
Remind me, how old are you again?
I am 200. So that was 50 years ago that event would have happened.
What have you been doing since then? Just out of curiosity.
I have been trying to be as low and under the radar as possible. I picture him kind of farming, kind of like out near a town, but by himself, and just occasionally he's the scary old guy that like the kids like are the kids tell stories about.
Okay.
And I wander into town every once in a while and just deliver like whatever goods I've farmed. Maybe turnips. I don't know, something like that.
I heard those. I heard you can sell those for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Only on certain days, though. At
Only
certain
on
times.
certain days. That's why you only see him every once in a while.
Yeah. Not on Sundays. Definitely not on Sundays. Maybe she's passed out. Okay. So, okay, that is the end of your life path. Very interesting, Mr. Witcher.
Yeah.
Keep in mind your extra diagram that you have.
Yes.
I'm
Would that
just
come
looking
and
over-
play next?
Well, you have the chance to look over gear, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give you kind of time on your own to look over gear later,
Okay.
because that's gonna take a while. I want you to really think about stuff. So, but just keep in mind that you have an extra one.
Okay. So
Okay.
I just one quick question. I'm seeing here that there is it says Witcher sword diagrams, but there's only two there, the steel sword and the silver sword. So if I had an extra sword diagram, is there like a specific one somewhere?
No, so Witcher swords in the games there's like a million different types, but traditionally in the books there's like one right way to make a Witcher sword. The steel or the silver, you fold meteorites. So basically what this is saying is if you broke one of these swords, you'd either have to buy it, which would be ridiculously expensive, or if you had the diagram for it and you have a good craftsman with you, you could make it. But only if you have the diagram. So this is saying like rather than having to buy it, you could remake it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's only one type of sword for each.
Got it. So, but is that diagram then only good for one use?
No, once you have a diagram, you can remake something forever.
But I wouldn't naturally start with those two diagrams, a steel sword and a silver sword.
Yeah, so you would still have your swords. You didn't throw away your swords, but you don't know how to make them until you get the diagram.
Got it. All right.
Chloe. All right, you good?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. All right, so now we're gonna go to your skills and stats allocation. Pretty important.
Okay, is that back up at the top?
Yeah. So let's go to stats real quick. That's on page 47. Chloe, enough.
What's the country with the yellow and black checkered flag?
Can't say I know which are flags off the top of my head.
I just saw it zoom by as I was scrolling, and it's like very Lord Baltimore-y. I just was asking. It's no specific information needed.
Hedwyn has a yellow and black unicorn.
Huh. Maybe I was seeing things. All right, let's see. So, stat rolling.
Okay. So remember, so your statistics are the kind of inherent physical capabilities of your character. They can't really be changed that much throughout the course of your game. You can work really, really hard to improve them, but it will take a long time to build up. Um, each of these determines or governs over certain skills, which you can see if you scroll down to page 49.
Okay.
So I think it kind of, for me, it helps to look at page 49 so you can see what skills you're going to be you know affecting when you upgrade your stats.
Okay. I
Um,
remember you saying the other day that some of the like classes have specific
yeah.
ones that they
So
focus on.
before we actually start dumping points, let's go back up. Let's go up to page 46. So it's kind of nice. The Witcher is the last profession page. So you can just go right between the Witcher page and then scroll down to the next
Okay.
couple pages. But um, if you go up to where the Witcher is, you can see everything about your character. So you have every profession has 10 skills and a defining skill that you will dump points into.
Okay.
The defining skill is unique to your profession, the other skills are not.
Got it.
So as you can see on your skills, you have awareness and deduction. Those are both intelligence, governed by intelligence.
Okay.
um, you have and wilderness survival is as well. You have spell casting, which is governed by will. Athletics, ride, dodge and escape, and swordsmanship. Those are all governed by reflex.
Okay.
Sorry, athletics is governed by dexterity. The others are governed by reflex.
Which one?
Stealth,
Athletics.
athletics and stealth are dexterity. Dodge, swordsmanship, and ride are all reflex.
Okay.
And alchemy is crafting. So yeah, so those are your skills. The ones you have to put points into, and then Witcher training. As you can uh, read down at the bottom panel, basically they have pretty good knowledge of monsters, and so let's see what it says. Each of these defining abilities has kind of its own unique thing, but also passes for another skill. So Witcher training passes for monster lore. So all the points that you put into Witcher training are basically inseparable from monster lore.
Okay, so I don't need to
And
put them specifically into monster lore.
correct.
Got it.
And you have greatest weapon is their knowledge of monsters and their adaptability in any situation. When in a hostile environment or difficult terrain, a Witcher can lessen the penalties by half of their Witcher training value. So that's basically saying there's various penalties that I might steep on you guys. If you guys are on a rocky hill and you're trying to do athletics, maybe it's a little tougher. Or you're in a swamp that's really hard to move around. Whenever I try to impose penalties on you for doing dice checks, it'll have it because of your Witcher training, because you're basically more resourceful than most other combatants. And you can also use it as a monster lore check. So looking at your skills, most of them are governed by either reflex, dexterity, intelligence, or will. So keep that in mind. You might want to just roll back and forth between the two pages. You also have vigor, which means that you're able to cast spells. So all of your Witcher signs that you can cast, those are all considered basic spells. It's actually pretty. They're pretty unique to Witchers, so only you can cast them, and that's governed by your spell casting skill. So your spell casting will determine how powerful all of your Witcher signs are.
So the spell casting skill is based on will, you said?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So now let's go down to stats. Let's allocate those first.
Okay.
So out of the 9 stats, you have 70 points to spend, and you can't exceed a 10.
Okay.
So what are we feeling?
I feel like because he has lived such a long life, he's definitely got a high intelligence. just from especially thinking about the Witcher training.
Fair enough.
So I want to put maybe I'll max that one out at 10.
Okay.
Um,
And not to influence you, but just to be informative about what other characters have picked. All of the other people that have built characters, they can definitely hold their own in a fight, but no one has put a ton of stuff into combat skills.
and
So
that would be
everyone is,
reflexes.
yeah, reflex and dexterity. No one's really um,
Okay.
maxed out combat or
Okay.
anything. So everyone's decent, but just letting you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that might behoove you.
Yeah. I agree. He is a Witcher, so I would also max out reflexes and dexterity. Um, he would probably because he's been away from being a Witcher for 50 years. Well, I knew you could. What was the max that I could do for empathy?
6.
Okay, I think he'd be at a 6, just because he's been removed from doing that work for so long.
I mean, I suppose it's genetic, it's bred out of him. So, but I like where your head's at. So, I'll I think that's a good idea.
Um, how many points do I have left?
34.
Okay. What is body used for?
So, body is a measure of your physical strength. It determines, it's largely determines your health and stamina. So your health and stamina is your body and your will divided by 2. That determines what that is. Um, so take that for what it is. And then also, when you land a strike, your damage, how much damage you determine or do, is determined by your weapon, and also you get bonus points if you have a really strong body. It's not like a ton,
Mm-hmm.
but it does determine that a little bit. So
Okay, I'll put 8 in body.
okay. 8 in body.
6 in crafting. And how many do I have left?
You have 20 left, and you still need to fill in your will, luck, and speed.
Okay, so luck is that you said that we would use that once a session.
Right. Yep. And that basically kind of fills in any dice check.
Okay. His luck's all run out. You said I have 20. How much? 22 or 20?
20.
Well, all right. I'm gonna put 2 in luck. Um, 8 in will,
Okay.
and then 10 in speed.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that's solid. I mean, you're going to have, looking at your derived skills, you have 8 in body and will. Sorry, your derived stats, not skills. So you will have 40 HP, 40 stamina. That's a little above average.
I just feel like he's or should if how important is speed?
So speed basically determines how fast you can get in and out of combat. So
Okay.
um
All right. I'm
your
thinking that not that I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I'm thinking I'll back empathy down to 4 and up
Yeah.
body to 10 and back speed down to 8 and up will to 10.
Okay.
Because he is I'm saying it a lot. He is a Witcher. Combat and that kind of thing is his focus, or was his focus.
So that still gives you a speed of 8, which is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Because it's whenever there's a combat scenario, I do take distance into account, and so how quickly you can get into and out of things is determined based off your speed. So if there's a monster that's like 100 yards away, and it starts charging you, maybe you want to be the first one to meet it, or maybe you want to get the hell out of there. That's determined by your speed.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay, so let me go back up to your skills so I can fill these out real quick. Okay. I think you guys are putting together a pretty good party. I'm excited to see how you guys work together. Okay, so going back up to your Witcher page, which is on page 46.
Okay.
Out of your 10 skills and your Witcher training skill, so 11 skills total, you have 44 points to allocate, and you can't go higher than 6.
All right.
So you have to put at least one in, and just so you know, Mare and Jesse have pretty high wilderness survival, which is mostly like foraging and stuff. So, I mean, if it's up to your character, I think your character would have decent wilderness survival as a Witcher. But if you want to go in with your party, you probably don't need to max that out.
It is pretty cool, Rocks. Sorry, Mike. That there is a tabletop system for almost every game. It's kind of crazy. But we're building out rigs of Redania. He's too old for this shit. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna max out Witcher training at 6.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I'll max out swordsmanship.
Good idea.
And athletics.
Okay.
And that puts me that's 18 out of 44. You said.
Yep. So you have 26 points left.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. I would put. I'll say 2 in wilderness survival.
Okay.
1 in stealth. I don't know. Is the wolf school known for being stealthy? Would you say that's like
no?
a thing?
That's more the cat school.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'll put 3 in ride. Okay. All right, 20 left. No, I don't think ride is for betting maidens, Rocks. I think it's for riding horses.
Oh my god.
We'll put how is everyone else looking at deduction?
I think. Let me see. I think I just made a character with your mom today. She had No deduction. Okay.
I thought you said I had to put at least one in everything.
You do.
Okay.
You're just asking. I'm reading off of what other people have done. Um,
If there's
Mara
a
and I.
saddle involved, I say you can use your ride skill. That's what Rox just said. To each their own.
Mike has 3 deduction, and your wife has 0 deduction. So overall, we're kind of middle of the road at deduction.
Okay. I'll max out deduction. My saying of the night: he is a witcher after all. Alchemy will be at 1, unless does that affect mutagens?
Yes, but you don't have to be the only one to make the mutagens. You can have some help.
Okay. Yeah, so alchemy at 1. Um. Okay. What have I not done anything? Spellcasting.
Spellcasting and dodge, and you have 13 points left.
Okay. I'm gonna have extra. Okay, I'm gonna put 1. I'm gonna make it 2 in alchemy. No, I'll put 3 in alchemy. Sorry. Spellcasting. I will put 5, and in dodge I'll put 5.
You have a point left.
I still have a point left.
Yeah. Did you say 5 or 6 in spellcasting?
5.
Yeah, you have a point left.
You're right.
So you have 6 deduction, 5 spellcasting, 3 alchemy, 5 dodge, 2 wilderness survival.
I have them written down here.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'll put it in alchemy. I'll raise that to 4.
Okay. All right. Now so those are your skills. I think that's a decent little set. Now scroll back down to page 49 to look at the rest of the skills because you'll need to look at them for reference.
Okay.
Now you have a number of pickup skills that you can add on that are outside of your main professional skill set. So basically anything that you can't put extra points into your Witcher skills, but you can put points into any other skills. You have 20 pickup points based off of your intelligent and reflex. So you have 20 points to distribute amongst the rest of these.
Okay. And I can put 6 as the max?
Yeah, same thing.
All right. I'm going to put 6 into melee.
So that so melee is basically alternative weapons. It's like blunt force weapons.
Got it. Okay.
If you're thinking brawling is like fist fighting. That's brawling.
Okay.
Just so you know the difference.
Yeah. I think melee. Yeah, I think melee.
Okay.
I'll put 4 into intimidation. I'll put I'll put 3 into first aid.
Just so you know, um, Michael, I think at this point, a number of different characters have put in a bunch of points into first aid. I think
Okay.
Michael, Meredith, and Jesse, and your mom.
Okay. Then I will do let's see. What does the 2 next to tactics mean?
So that doesn't apply right now. Eventually down the road, is just go with it on Netflix. When you go to improve your stats down the road, it's going to cost twice as many points to improve that skill as any other skill. But for character creation, it doesn't matter.
Okay. I'll do tactics. 3.
Okay.
So I have 7 left.
Yes.
Okay. Do Witchers resist magic by default?
Not necessarily. No.
All right. I'll put 3 in resist magic.
Okay.
What's the difference between physique and endurance?
Physique is kind of how explosively strong you are, lifting things, breaking things down. Endurance is how long you can last.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to back melee down to 5, and then drop 2 into physique and 3 into endurance.
So melee 5, intimidate 4, tactics 3, resist magic 3, endurance 3, and physique 2.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So those are your skills. Very cool. Now, real quick, go back up to the Witcher page so we can look at what else you need to do.
Give me 1 second. Okay. Gear.
So you have you actually start out with all signs, so that's great, all basic signs. So before we start, at some point I would take the time to look them over so you're familiar with what you have available to you. I'm not obviously, as you know, as a fellow DM, GM, whatever. Not going to come out and say like, "Hey, this is a great time for you to use your Axis sign or your Igni sign," but I would just be familiar with what signs you have.
Okay.
Let's see. You can go down. There's out of those the gear that's right there. You can pick 2. Again, you don't have to do it right now. I'd actually kind of encourage you to take some time to look over, unless you already decided.
I've decided. So
Oh,
a
okay,
double
what do you
woven gambeson is armor, correct?
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna do a horse and the double woven gambeson.
Okay. I'm kind of glad you picked a horse. I was hoping someone would do that. Horse. Are you gonna name all your horses Roach like Geralt does? Or are you gonna name them all something different?
You'll have to wait and see. I haven't
You can name
decided.
all
I
your
haven't
horses
decided
Mittens,
yet. Yes.
just like
All of the horses' names are Mittens. That's it. Instead of the sword, it's all the horses. Mittens.
So you also have those special things down there. You have your Witcher medallion from the Wolf School. You have a steel and silver sword, and then you get to pick either now or at a later time 2 potion formula, 2 blade oil formula, and 2 decoction formula. What I'd say, so I mean, in the game, you make these formula, you always have them, and you can pause and whatever. I would look over the potions and formula, especially the oils. I mean, the oils are going to come in handy because they can be used in basically any situation. But try to look at and think about what you might be facing most often. So if you think you're going to be facing a lot of bandits, it might be nice to have some Hangman's Venom, which is basically like the
Yeah, yeah,
anti-human
yeah.
oil.
Um,
Um,
are um undead gonna be fairly necrotic things fairly common in our game, or are you not saying?
I'm not going to say,
Because
but I would
they're
use your
super common
context
in the video
tools.
games.
Yeah, well, I mean, read up. I mean, in the setting that I sent you,
Uh-huh.
you can figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely read into that.
But I'd say that's probably more practical than like elemental oil. So,
Got it. Gotcha.
before you go doing that, let's figure out how much gold you have to spend on other things.
Okay.
Um, so let's see. I have to go down to gear on page 71. Okay, so as a witcher, witchers are always kind of perpetually poor. I mean, sorry. So you start out with 50 crowns times 2d6. So roll 2d6, add those together, and we'll multiply that by 50 to figure out how much you have.
6
Six
times 50.
times 50, which is 300.
Yeah, which is the average.
Yep. So you have 300 coins plus the starting gear to spend on whatever you want.
Okay.
Now you're a farmer, so or whatever, you have your life story. So I would pick gear that's realistic to that. Like you probably aren't going to have travel gear on you because you're not a traveler, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what I've given everyone the chance to do is take the next day to look over the gear and pick out what you want, and then text it to me. And I would also leave yourself a little bit of extra spending money.
Got it.
Other than that, actually, before we do that, you have, based off your life path, you found 2 teachers, and let's do that before I forget.
Yes, yes, yes.
So back at skills, any intelligence skills. If you haven't already put points in, you can add 2, or if you have, you can add 1, and this includes your professional skills. If you can add 1 to them now.
You said intelligence?
Yeah.
All right, I didn't. Okay. So I have 2 of those to spend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll put 1 into deduction and 1 into Witcher training.
Okay, so that makes you have a total of 7 Witcher training and 7 deduction. And your skills are spent. So your character is just about built. You just have to pick what gear you want to bring with you, and let me know when you have it all picked out, and I'll add it to the spreadsheet, and I will email you a filled out character sheet that you can have for posterity.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I'll
Um,
definitely look. Probably not tonight, but I will look through that tomorrow.
Sure. Now, the last person I have to, I mean, everyone has kind of a little level of incompletion, except for Mike and Jesse have their characters done. Madison, Meredith, and Amy have just like 1 or 2 things left to do. And then I just need your roommate, Sarah Lynn, to make her character.
Yeah,
and
I'll
we're good to
talk
go.
to her.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. I hope anybody who's watching enjoyed. It was a little different from what I normally do, but I think it was fun.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take a quick break, check on some things. I won't turn off the stream though because I don't think I'll be longer than like 15, 20 minutes. So I'll just go to intermission, and for the rest of you, just hang out, and I will be back shortly.
Bye, guys.
Let's do this thing.
Take that!